Saturday workflow, 2017 Honda Civic. I'm finishing up the brake job. Caleb had to pull off of the rear brake job, moving back over to the radiator job. The front brakes are done, tire pressure set. Customer asked for tire pressure check, even though the tire light wasn't on, whatever. On this side is finished. New rotor, new brake pads, everything's greased up. Sliders are greased. Electronic parking brake is all plugged back in. This side's all set. Brake rotor's washed with brake clean. I need to move on to this side here. Previous place, either tire rotator or somebody who was in here last just broke the lug nut off and left it there. I doubt the customer did that. So if you want to hang out and watch, let's see if I can't get you some viewing pleasure. Your viewing pleasure. That'll work. So I'm going to get the caliper bracket off, the rotor off. Caleb already pushed the caliper back. And then maybe you can watch me do the whole job. Brake pads are already lubricated. Allen keys were sliders. Let's see if I can get that out without killing myself. Don't hammer, don't hurt them, hammer. Rotor, BFH. Everyone likes a BFH. What does BFH mean? Anyone? If I get to break Caleb's school. Caleb's little mini ratchet. Oh, that's tight. What's your favorite ratchets? Most of my ratchets are all Snap-on. That's my favorite ratchets.
I only have one ratchet that I really use. And it's
Snap-on. Used and abused. I did buy another ratchet, not this one. I said I wasn't going to do it. So what happened was, yet again, my electric ratchet was out for repair to the tune of $165 now. It used to be $150, now it's $165. But I only had my slow slug 3H drive, and I have ADHD, so nothing's fast enough. So I was like, I can't even use this anymore. It's so goddamn slow. I just bought their high-speed ratchet to make myself happy. Another $500 worth of garbage products that I'm going to send out for repair and 48. All right.
I think I only sent mine out to repair once. And the only reason I had to send it out to repair was because
I just don't think you're as flaky animal that I am.
I don't know.
I'm not saying anything bad about you, kid.
I don't know. I beat the shit out of that thing. I think I sent it out once, and it was because it sat for a couple months.
But before you guys started getting your collection, you're talking 3 mechanics using my shit all the time.
Well, exactly.
So it's 3 times the abuse Snap-on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was once a month you were sending something out.
Actually, we were like 8 times busier.
That is true.
Like last Saturday, we did 3 oil changes. Last Saturday, we did 3 oil changes, and we're tortured by one customer. Makes me never want to change oil ever again. And then today, we have work, which is the twilight zone, like real work. But the way it goes. Having the right tools makes the difference. Stud installer. I don't know where I got these from.
Amazon thing.
I bought the 3-part kit this time because I've had the same ones for so long that I think they were just destroyed or missing or stolen or whatever the case may be. So the studs in, make sure that you press it all the way into the flange. Easy peasy. I make it look easy only because I've been doing it for so long. You trying to learn something over here, kid?
No, I heard you were talking shit.
What, like the other day about I was showing off the mechanics toolboxes?
Yeah.
And I was like, we all got these kind of mechanics.
In all fairness, that wasn't all me.
Nah.
That wasn't all me.
I used to have another mechanic that was so bad that I would just sweep the floor, not here, in other shops, I would sweep the floor that he worked in with a shovel because he would never clean up anything, and I would just sweep everything up and dump it right on the box. And I said, "Yeah, you're gonna clean up the toolbox?" He would clean up the toolbox. Another day would go by, the whole bay would be a mess again. This was in Philly. I would sweep the bay for him with a big giant snow shovel and throw it right on top of his box. I said, "One of these days you're gonna learn, or I'm not gonna stop." And then he finally started cleaning up the toolbox. Like, I think you're bad because I have OCD. This guy was even worse. And we had kitty litter, which made me even more nuts. Yeah, no kitty litter up in this shop.
I just always have a bunch of miscellaneous shit on top of my box. I don't have a place.
And then putting wheel bearing grease like under the drawers. Like when you go to grab your drawers, we had wheel bearing grease under there for the guys to be tortured. And then I remember when I worked at Midas, that one of the older techs, because I was like Caleb, just getting into the business in '91, that we had this guy, and he was a real douche. And he was a little older than me, but he was getting into computers, and he had a 79 Monte Carlo green, I remember this. And he was showing me his custom stereo system. It was all Radio Shack shit. And I was like, oh yeah, that's great. And then after I got a few paychecks, I got like a car and I built this crazy stereo system. And I was like, yeah. He wound up quitting. He couldn't stand that when I was welding exhaust, that the torch tip was always dirty, and that's why I say this to you guys. That drove him nuts. Like when he would go, we only have one welder. Now we have 4 welders here. That every time he grabbed the torch tip, to weld, that the tip was full of slag. That's the nature of the beast when you're welding upside down, but I never cleaned it. And he just had so many things that he didn't like about, what went on there. He actually wound up going into computer repair. I don't know how far that got him in life, but one of the technicians took muffler mud and pumped one of his air guns through the air nozzle through a muffler mud. That's how much they didn't like it. Yeah.
No, I would have hit somebody.
Yeah. But that was always an ongoing thing about us messing with like brake clean, and then they had this really good brake slide guide stuff. So we would always mess around with everybody, like stick it in places that.
I mean, doing shit like that, but like destroying tools,
The older guys didn't like him. Like I liked him in the beginning, and then after he cried to the manager basically every day that I used the welder. Tip's always dirty. And he's like, dude, we weld upside down. This is how this works. Like, we're not welding like this, we're welding like this. I get it. Now I understand why he was crying.
Yeah, but having an adult conversation with you, don't want to fuck.
He did. But I didn't understand what he was crying about, because all they did was scrape out the tip every time that I used it. No different than when you guys weld. I tell you guys the same thing. Like, hey, scrape the tips out when you're done. Scrape the tip out when you're done. So now I just scrape the tip out when I grab it. I make it the way that I want it when I'm ready to weld. I think his name was Bob. But yeah, Caleb, he had one of those free air subs from Radio Shack, and he took the back seat out, and it was just like a big piece of wood. And he had like every Radio Shack speaker, and it didn't sound very good. But that I'm talking in the 90s when car audio was just coming out. Yeah. And then car audio went crazy.
Yeah, I keep wanting to do some crazy audio shit, but I don't want to spend money.
Just so you know, I never had a Radio Shack sound system, never, and I was pretty broke, making $5 an hour.
If money were of no object, I would have a server with crazy system.
Careful not to over torque those little Allen keys. And I always prefer the OEM hardware because the aftermarket ones really suck in my opinion. all set. Thanks for watching.